Hello grade 5s. Today what we're going to do is we're going to move on from dividing with blocks to actually dividing using pencil and paper using a process called long division. So what we're going to do here is we're going to try our best to make sense of this. We'll do a couple different questions. This is a fairly complicated, complex thing to do. So it might take you a little bit of practice to get going, but I think once we get going, you're going to find that this will hopefully be all right for you. Blocks are very helpful when doing this. So if you're having trouble doing some of these long division questions, pull out some blocks and use the blocks as you go through it. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do 135 divided by 3. So what we're going to do is the thing that's doing the dividing, so we're breaking it up into 3 groups, always goes in the front when we're long dividing. And we're going to use this division symbol here. And you've probably seen it before, but this is what we're going to use. And the thing that's being divided, the 135, goes underneath this division symbol. So this is what we're going to do. We always start with the biggest number, just like when we're working with blocks. And we're going to slowly work our way to the right as we go on. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to look at 1, and we want to divide 1 up into how many groups? 3 groups. And you can clearly see you can't break 1 up into 3 groups. So if I've got 3 groups over here, and I've got 1 value, I can't put 1 into each group, okay, because I only have 1 of them. So some people, they'll actually write a 0 up on top, but if it's our first number, all I do is I just expand the number to include both numbers in the front. So now what we're asking ourselves is let's take 13 and break it up into 3 groups. So now what we're going to do is we're going to change this to 13. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now this is what I'm kind of hoping. I'm hoping you'd be able to do some mental math here and say, oh, I know how to break 13 up into 3 groups. I know that if I put 1 in each group, that would use 3. If I put 2 in each group, that would use 6. If I put 3 in each group, that would use 9. If I have 12 and break it up into 3 groups, that would be 4 in each group. And then you can see if I go one more, if I have 15, I break it up into 3 groups, there'd be 5 in each group. So I'm hoping your division facts are there. And you can see, hey, we have 13. So what we're going to have is we're going to have 4 in each group, but we're going to have 1 left over. So that's what we're going to do here. So what we're going to do is when we take 13 and we break it up into 3 groups, we're going to have 4 in each group. Now this is a cool thing with long division. If you now do 4 times 3, that gives us 12. And underneath the 13, we're going to write the 12. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do a subtraction. 13 minus 12 leaves us with 1. And that's what we found out here. We had 1 left over. Just like if you were using blocks and you did this, you would find that you have 1 left over. Now here's the next step. The next step is you bring down the next number, which is 5. So this is like when you were at the bank, and in this case you had 1 tens piece left over. You took it to the bank and you got 10 ones pieces. But we already had 5. We already had 5, so now we have 15 altogether. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying now to take our 15 and we're dividing it up into 3 groups. Hey, we've already done this. We know that if we have 15, we have 5 in each group. So 15 divided by 3 gives us 5. Now here's the cool thing. Do your multiplication again. 5 times 3 gives us 15. 15 minus 15, we have none left over. So we are all finished. We've used all our numbers, And you can see if you have 135, you divide it by 3, you're left with 45. Let's flip to the next page. One more question. So first thing we're going to do, the thing that's doing the dividing, we're dividing it up into 4 groups, goes first. The thing that's being divided goes underneath the division sign. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to deal with the biggest number. How many times, or how many would be in each group if we divide 7 up into 4 groups? And you can see if you have 4 and you divide them up into 4 groups, you'd have 1 in each group. If you had 8 and you divided it up into 4 groups, you'd have 2. If you had 12 and you divided it up into 4 groups, you'd have 3. If you had 16 and you divided it up into 4 groups, you'd have 4. So let's use this. So we've got 7. So what you can see is we're going to be able to divide 7 up. We're going to put 1 in each group, but we're going to have some left over. We're going to have 3 left over here. So this is what I'm going to do. If I have 7, I'm dividing up into 4 groups. I've got 1 in each group. 1 times 4 gives me 4. Now here's the cool thing. This tells us how much we have left. So we've got 3 left because 7 minus 4 leaves me with 3. Bring down the next number. Put that 4 right beside it. Now we're asking ourselves, we now have 34 and we're dividing it up into 4 groups. How many will be in each group? Well, you can keep working on this. So this becomes 20. We're going to have 5 in each group. If we have 24, we're going to have 6 in each group. If we have 27, that's, or sorry, 28, it's going to be 7 in each group. If we have 32, that's going to be 8 in each group. If we have 36, that's going to be 9. So in this case, 34, you're going to see that we're going to have 8 in each group, but 8 times 4 is 32. 34 minus 32, hey, we had 2 extras. Hey, we still have another number we have to deal with. So we're bringing down the 4. So in this case, we now have 24. You say, oh, 24, if we're dividing up into 4 groups, you can see we've got 6 in each group. 6 times 4 is 24. We have none left over because 24 minus 4 is 24 minus 24 is 0. We've used all our numbers up here. You can see 744 divided by 4 is 186. So it's a really powerful way to do this. You're able to do this with really any size numbers. It works really well. So give those a try. We'll see how they go. Please feel free. This is a tough process. Ask questions if you're struggling with it.